Damian, first, thank you so much for speaking with me. But more importantly, thank you for this amazing series. And thank you for, again, being able to give a part of history that a lot of us didn't know. How did you come about this story?
Man, a director of photography that I was working with at the time sent me a script that he thought I would enjoy. And yeah, that's the simplest story as to how we are here now.
Then
Um,
let's,
so I
and
fell in
sorry, I
love.
was going to, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm interrupting you.
I fell in love with the script. I fell in love with the story of this man that I didn't know anything about, and I didn't really know the historical reference. I just, I'm a director, so I like nice script. So the script was nice, man. So I said, let's do this.
Well, why don't we talk about what is this series about, please?
Well, Bass Reeves is, I think, one of the first Black U.S. Marshals ever, in the United States. So for me, this was more of about a triumphant story. Possibly it would have a hard origin because most people of color in, in North America in that era did not have stories that didn't just involve pain and or slavery and or death and et cetera, et cetera. So this one had these positive chapters, and it starred a Black man with a gun and a badge. So, I always like to do the unexpected. And I think those many things, that and many other things, were just simply unexpected. So that rang all the bells for me.
I wish I knew about the story when I was a kid so that when we were playing Cowboys, at least I knew what character I could actually be as a hero. So that's one of the big reasons why I say thank you to this. The other thing I say thank you to is we got some Canadian actors in this, and that I'm definitely enjoying being here in Canada.
All right, Barry. I forgot Barry is from Canada too, right? Barry Pepper.
Why
Yeah,
did why was he the right choice for this?
I don't know. I wasn't involved in Barry's casting, but I'm really glad that I had the opportunity to, man, just sit and talk with Barry. I mean, I everybody has their own way that they direct. I always tell people I am probably a Rasta man before I'm a director. So um, Barry was just a great person to sit down and talk with. And I think I could probably say that goes across the board for anything you talk to Barry Pepper about. So I've always had this positive run-in with a Canadian anytime I met them in life. And Barry was no different, man. It was like, wow, this was like one of the best Canadians I ever met. And then he's doing this on top of it. And it was just amazing. Even I remember we would joke sometimes because in Hollywood, we like to give the actors sort of like a fake tobacco, like a clove leaf to do our smoking scenes. And Barry Esau had some tobacco that he was having on the sandy beach on the side of a river before they did the river crossing. And Barry pulled out his own little thing. It wasn't given to him by wardrobe or anything. And I said, what is this? And he said, man, this is true tobacco from Canada, given to me by my grandmother. And I said, oh, you lie, man. And I would say to that so that I could be where Barry was for the scene. We both took a hit of that tobacco pipe that day. And that's what I mean. I just think that down to the smallest detail, I've talked so much about the production design. I've talked so much about the clothing, the wardrobe, the camera department, our colorists, everybody that helped us have this beautiful palette in which to work and feel safe in as directors. But on top of that, everyone gave their best self. And that went from David Oyelowo to Christina Voros, my other director, to Chad Feehan, and even shout out to Taylor Sheridan, who gave us the freedom to go out and make what we wanted to make. There were many times David and I would look at each other and say, man, you from Trinidad, you from Nigeria and London, like, what are we doing here telling this story? And the answer was always that, well, we must do a good job, no matter what. That's how important this is, man. So this was our lens. This was a time to show our people, like, guess what, man? Our history is not just full of bad man thing and guns and warfare. And then before that, you had slavery. No, we had some people that were very instrumental in a positive history of this country. And I like to think that, the representation is the pride. So I hope that after watching this, a lot of people that look like you and I could have a little bit more pride at our place in this whole thing.
You need to ask one more question. I think this is really important, and I don't want to give too much away, but throughout the story that I've seen so far, the only time you ever see him smile is when he's with his family. Was that important to portray that?
Yeah, it was for me. I mean, I'm a family man myself, so there's a reggae record I used to listen to every morning before going to work called Police and Thieves. And the
I
chorus,
remember that. I've got the 12-inch. I have the 12-inch for that song.
yeah, police and thieves in the street fighting the nation with their guns and nominations. And when he would leave the farmhouse to go out, he was in that world. He was in bad man town. You didn't know who was good, who was bad, who was police, who was thief. Um, and I think he felt that and he wore that anytime we did scenes away from that. But coming home was so special. I mean, right now, coming home in 2023 is probably still special for me and you. Whoever is at home, whoever it is you care about, it's just always a nice feeling to come home. But back then, I think it was so much more magnified because when he would tell Jenny, I'll be back, that could be 3 days, that could be 2 weeks, or it could be 3 months. So when you saw each other again and the fact that you were alive, and he and Jenny, as you see from the pilot, they have, as she jokes with him, I have a man that has a habit of up and leaving, and he takes too long to come back sometimes, but he's a good man. And that is who Bass Reeves was. No matter what, he was fully and firmly committed to the family that he was raising, and it was his joy. I think it was the pillar of it all for him.
I will definitely be looking for my new t-shirt with his emblem on it. My friend, thank you so much for this interview, but more importantly, thank you so much for presenting this part of history. Blessings on this. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, Rudy. Thank you, man.